What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope definitely have some history, right? Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP, he won an NBA championship with this same Lakers team. Well, not the same Lakers team, but LeBron James and Anthony Davis in 2020. And that was an incredible team. Very comparable, very similar to this current team. Although personally, I've said that I believe front to back, this team is much better, much improved. That 2020 team was so heavily reliant on LeBron James and Anthony Davis both being great. That team couldn't beat anybody without them. Where this team has proven that they can win without them. They're not as LeBron reliant, not as AD reliant at times, although on the defensive end. And, your third best player in that run was KCP, and it wasn't like he was putting up some crazy historic numbers. But in game one with Denver, he had himself a game. He shot 9 of 17 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3, gave them 21 points, right? He also had 1 block, 2 steals, and 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Had himself a game. He really did in 36 minutes and really sort of backed up a lot of the talking that he did. When he first got signed to Denver, he talked about the 2020 season, right? And he talked about how, we wouldn't have beaten them if it wasn't for Anthony Davis's miracle shot and all that stuff. And yes, could that have changed the series? Sure. The way that the Lakers just kind of handled Denver that series, I don't think Denver was winning that. Even with that, you could have made the argument maybe the tides changed, but hey, at the end of the day, Anthony Davis hit the shot. That's playoff basketball, right? Sometimes things just go your way, and the Lakers ended up winning, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, fast forward, here he is on Denver, and he's still talking. I mean, he's said a lot. He's been talking this entire process leading into this series and this matchup, and had a few things to say as of late. One of those things is that KCP says the 2020 team, the Lakers team, 2020 Lakers, were better than this current Lakers team. Now, for starters, before I go in on KCP, for one, the things he's saying are not like the stuff Dylan Brooks was saying, or even the stuff that like Steve Kerr and JaMychal Green were saying, right? Like, KCP stuff is a lot of things that he's been asked, and it's kind of like the answer, like, what is he supposed to say? No, the 2020 team wasn't as good. This team is so much better. Like, he was on that team. I get it. But there's ways to go about that, right? You see it all the time. Teams and players will kind of answer the question, but not directly. It's kind of like they go through, something along the lines of like, hey, that 2020 team was great. It was really special. I was very thankful to be a part of that team. What you're seeing with this team is something different. They have so many different players. You have so many different guys that can do so many different things. I don't know how that team would stack up. You kind of answer it like, hey, we were really good. This team's really good. They're not really comparable, right? That's the answer you give. Again, KCP he's not talking mess just to talk mess in many ways, but he's still talking, right? And that's still more than enough for this team. And if you're the Lakers, you got to feel some disrespect, right? Also, he said this, and this is where I could see LeBron feeling a type of way. So he said, I feel like the only difference is that LeBron James, can jump higher than Jokic when he was asked about the similarities playing with LeBron and Jokic. Now, look, I get LeBron and Jokic are comparable to some extent, right? They're two very sizable guys that the offense heavily revolves around, very ball dominant, high usage type guys. Both could pass the ball insanely. Both could go drop 30 and get you a triple-double on any given night. There are a lot of similarities, but there is a lot more to LeBron James, especially in that bubble year, than Jokic. Jokic is an incredible player, incredible talent, but there's no comparing Jokic to LeBron at this point. LeBron is arguably, if not the greatest player of all time. LeBron is a two-way player, for one. There's a huge difference there. One plays zero defense. The other one was one of the best defenders we have seen. And just his intangibles and the freight train, he could do so much. And again, first off, if you're this Lakers team, you got to take that disrespectfully. Because if you're this Lakers team, you're thinking we are way better than that team. And in my opinion, they are. If you took this Lakers team, remove LeBron James, remove Anthony Davis, and then you took the same players, exact same players from the 2020 team, removed LeBron, removed Anthony Davis, Lakers might sweep them in a 7-game. This current Lakers team might sweep them in a 7-game series. Like, maybe you get playoff Rondo and, they win a game or two, but this team is way better. I mean, the Lakers have several guys that are averaging more than anybody on that bubble team, right? They have the same type of comparable defense. This team, you can make an argument, is deeper front to back. You can also make an argument this team is a better three-point shooting team. You can also make the argument this team has more natural scorers and better three-way scorers. This team also has a more consistency in players. Like Kyle Kuzma was great, but he was super inconsistent at times. Rui Hachimura, when he actually gets the minutes and the touches, he's a very consistent. They didn't have a D'Angelo Russell, a guy that could score at all three levels. I know D'Lo has disappeared at times, but he's still better than pretty much everyone on that roster. Austin Reeves is better than pretty much everyone on that roster. Again, not named LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You still had Dennis Schroeder, who could defend pretty much most of the guys. This Lakers roster is front to back much better than that 2020 team. And I don't think it's really close. But this Lakers team, if I'm them, I'm taking that as a slight. Because KCP's on that team. I'm looking at it as like, name me a player. Like if I'm D'Lo, I'm looking at it as name me one player on that team that was better than me. If I'm Austin Reeves, I'm thinking, name me one player on that team that was better than me. Rui Hachimura, name me one player on that team that was better than me. Like, for real. The only real advantage that the bubble team would have had that this Lakers team doesn't have is Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, right? Because the Lakers, without Anthony Davis on this roster, that means you'd have Mo Bamba and Tristan Thompson and Wenyen Gabriel. They're probably getting torched by Dwight Howard, although it wasn't prime Dwight Howard, right? You're not talking about, Orlando Magic Dwight, or like even Houston Rocket Dwight, right? Like you're not talking that level, but it still could be a bit of a problem, a bit of a concern. Although I would love to see Rui Hachimura guard Dwight Howard. I think that would be pretty interesting and pretty fun, right? Because, he's done a pretty good job against a lot of centers in this league. But nonetheless, again, if you're this Lakers roster, I'm taking that with full disrespect. What are you talking about? We are better than the 2020 team. We got put together and bandaged and in a week figured it out, right? Like, I would just personally take that as a competitor as very disrespectful. Nonetheless, right? LeBron James. If I'm LeBron James, I'm showing KCP. Nikola Jokic is not anywhere comparable to me. If I'm LeBron James, I'm taking that as a slight. Even look, Jokic again is an incredible player, incredible talent. There is a real argument that he is the best player in the world right now. He is ridiculous, like unfair ridiculous at times. He's still not LeBron James. LeBron James at age 38, year 20, is still giving you damn near a triple-double, right? Is capable of going off for 30 on any given night. Even game one, LeBron James gave you 26, 12, and 9 on 9 of 16 shooting. He was 0 of 4 from 3. If you take off those 4 threes, then that means he was 9 of 12. He missed 3 shots, had a block. Come on. He nearly had a triple-double, and he's year 20, 38 years old. There's no comparison. And LeBron James is playing defense, right? LeBron James is at least showing up on that side of the ball. Even by today's standards, there's not really a comparison. There's just multiple things that LeBron can do still that Jokic can't do. Like, LeBron can get the ball and literally go coast to coast and take it on anybody, right? Like, he's a one-man fast break. It's the reason the Lakers are one of the best transition teams in the entire league still, even at this point. Like, if I'm LeBron, I'm taking that disrespectfully, right? If I'm LeBron, I'm looking at that as like, you should have stayed quiet. You didn't learn your lesson. You didn't see Dylan Brooks learn his lesson. You didn't see JaMychal Green learn his lesson. Now you want to talk about, like, again, he didn't say anything bad. He was trying to pay respects both ways. But again, there's ways around those questions. Like, same thing with the LeBron and Jokic, right? It's as simple as like, hey, they're two incredible talents. They both play very different positions. They do have some similarities, and they both are incredible passers, both incredible high IQ, both can do a little bit of everything, but they're two very different players. And I've enjoyed my time with both, right? Something like that. Get the PC answer. But no, he has no problem. Yeah, Denver, he's over here stroking the Denver, is what he's doing. And again, you want to stick your neck out for your team. You want to talk for your team. I don't blame KCP for doing it. But it's just like, come on, man. Like, you haven't seen what the last two teams just did. And, look, JaMychal Green's thing was pretty mild, right? All that really happened was just the little blue cap on LeBron's head. Outside, he didn't really even say it. He just posted that, right? But that was enough fuel for LeBron James to show up and be LeBron James. And LeBron James, I think, is going to be more aggressive this series. He was in game one, and I expect that to continue. So if he's going to continue to do that, I would be telling KCP, dude, just drop it. Quiet. Don't say nothing. Come on, dude. We're up 1-0. Like, we can't have you talking. If I'm Jokic, I'm saying, hey, look, man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate the praise and the compliments and all that stuff. But come on, we don't want to wake up the beast here. The last thing we need is LeBron James taking something personal. Last thing we need is this Lakers team take something personal. And there might be some people that are like, Nuggets aren't afraid of the Lakers, blah, blah. Golden State wasn't afraid of the Lakers. Memphis wasn't afraid of the Lakers. And guess what? They talked, and they sitting on their couch. And if you're Denver, after game one, you can't be feeling that great. You won, so you feel good. But the way you won, that was rough. And if they would have lost that game, which was very close, they would have lost that game. That's one of those games you don't come back from, right? That's one of those, like, we just blew our season type games. And you have the Lakers who believe, like, hey, we were just down 21 and had a chance to win this game. If we just play half decent, we're winning this series. And now you're adding this to it. I think sometimes things are just better to tiptoe around, or just, hey, we're two competing teams. I'll wait to see how this plays out. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Just avoid the question altogether. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you think that, this is fuel to the fire? Or do you think, no, it's something mild, it's not really a big deal? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know either way down in the comments below.